When there's a black lead character, white people are not allowed to complain about that movie.
They do though.
Privately.
No, on social media.
I'd say nothing.
I saw it on social media. I saw it on YouTube.
Wow.
Yeah.
I literally did not hear any complaints, but
No,
no,
I did.
That's because you are in a different culture than me.
This podcast is rated PC for Pew Culture. Pew, 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 pew. And welcome to another episode of the Pew Culture. I'm Cole Noir.
I'm Jake.
And today we are talking about
the greatest Western film ever made.
I wouldn't go that far, but I mean, hey, I get it from your perspective, I guess, to a certain degree.
I have kids, and I love Western films. And guess what? You cannot watch the best Western films with your kids.
I wouldn't know, but I get what you're saying.
So then comes along this little studio called Nickelodeon, and they made, in 2011, the greatest Western depiction, animated Western depiction I've ever seen, in a little film called Rango.
Rango, which, when you told me about it, I hadn't watched it.
Not surprised.
No, I hadn't. I mean, yeah, it's kind of par for the course for me.
Well, when you don't have kids and you know.
I mean, I am a child, though, so I do like watching.
What is your favorite animated film, right off the top of your head? Did not plan this question until right now. So, right off the top of your head, favorite animated film that you've watched?
Animated film?
Yeah, animated film, not TV show, because you can't cop out and use Family Guy or something like that.
No, I wasn't gonna say that. I was gonna go anime, but it wasn't a film. It was a series.
Okay, what is it?
It's pretty cliche, but I loved it. Attack on Titan.
Okay, so you're an anime guy.
Yeah. I'd say more anime guy than typical.
So non-anime blockbuster animated film. I mean, you basically have Disney, Pixar, Sony Anime. Okay, I'm surprised that you didn't pick like Into the Spider-Verse or something like that, because the albums were so good. I know how much you like music.
It was God damn it, there was one. God, I just forgot.
It's not because he's black.
What is the name of it? Not the Spider-Verse. The one with the black spider guy. Or black in Spanish, whatever he was.
That's Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, that one was good. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but
I liked it. Cool. I thought both were actually really good.
But that's not the one that was my favorite, though. What'd you say, Peter?
Everybody liked it.
No, I saw a lot of people complaining about it.
I literally did not hear any complaints, but
no, I did.
That's because you are in a different culture than me. Guess what? When there's a black lead character, white people are not allowed to complain about that movie.
They do though.
Privately.
No, on social media.
I'd say nothing.
I saw it on social media. I saw it on YouTube.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw it.
Post Malone was good in it. He had some good songs. I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, but that's posty for you. I'm literally trying. There was another animated series I recently watched, and I was like, this thing was incredible, but I can't remember it. There you go, dropping guns and stuff.
An animated series you watched?
It was I can't remember if it was an animated series or an animated movie. I just remember being very good. I just can't remember it. Oh, man. Yeah.
We'll come back to it.
Yeah, we'll have to, because Lord knows I don't remember.
So, anyways, Rango is in my top 3. And I have kids, so I watch a lot of animated films, right? Mm-hmm. Like, we watch literally all of them. Inside Out 2 was really good. That just recently came out. You have, the Zootopias, frickin' Moana, and all of these major animated films that make huge money, right? Mm-hmm. So Disney and Pixar obviously have owned this space forever, right? So from, I believe it was 2006.
Yeah, they pretty much were running the whole industry in that regard.
From 2006 until 2011, when Rango came out, no other company other than Disney or Pixar had won an animated best feature film. Rango beat them that year, and then Disney and Pixar did not lose again until 2018. So that tells you how hard it is to compete in an animated space with the juggernauts.
Yeah.
This film, though, I believe won because it did something that Disney and Pixar cannot do. it gets sketchy. It does adult humor.
It does walk, because I couldn't tell if this was geared towards adults or children.
So that's the funny thing is there's all these different groups who argue about Rango in the fact that it does a lot of different things, right? One of the main reasons we are talking about it on Pew Culture is because of the gunplay, which we'll get into. There's a lot of it, and it's all really good. But outside of that, there's a whole bunch of anti-smoking groups who petition for this film to be rated R. This film is rated PG, not G. So G is general audience. Yeah. Obviously, PG is parental guidance, but kids could watch this on their own. It is PG because there are some sexual references in it. Obviously, at the beginning with the like head cut off, legless doll, which is really funny. But the anti-smoking groups actually went through and counted. There are 60 instances of smoking in the film, making the characters look cool and badass Western characters, right? And Nickelodeon was like, "Screw you guys, we're doing it. This is a Western." Like, there's also all the references to drinking. Yeah. Cactus juice is obviously an alcohol. When he eats the cigar and he burps, he blows fire. Obviously, that's alcohol. There's gambling, which is fun because when he walks into the saloon, he's actually holding a pair of aces and a pair of eights, I think it is, which is in real life, Wild Bill Hickok's dead man hand when he was killed in real life. That was a reference to his actual hand when he was murdered. Gotcha. So like really cool. There's just references through the whole thing, and then you want to go into like the real adult stuff. Let's talk about Hunter S. Thompson and the influences on this film.
That was the thing that stood out to me the most, honestly. But like I told you before, because of Johnny Depp's character and then his stamp that he put on his portrayal of Hunter S. Thompson in Fear and Loathing, I couldn't help, like, it just felt like I was watching a Nickelodeon version Western of Fear and Loathing in the West.
And now you literally have identified almost the perfect movie. Like,
I still go back and forth about Fear and Loathing.
Fear and Loathing is a phenomenal film.
It is very well written because of
First of all, did you read the book?
No.
So, go read the book, you uncultured animal. The book is phenomenal, okay? So first off, the book is iconic. And
I don't doubt that.
And it's Hunter S. Thompson, so you know it probably all happened. Like,
I don't doubt I would enjoy the book because Hunter S. Thompson is a great writer.
He is.
However, I still go back and forth about Fear and Loathing because my brain just, I think the psychedelic component of it starts to get a little exhausting.
It is. I mean, it is, but that's also literally
the point. Yeah, I get it. But it's like, and I've tried watching it sober, meaning like I wasn't drinking because I don't do anything else. But then I tried watching it while I had been drinking, and then I tried to watch it while I hadn't been drinking. When I watched it when I was drinking, I got confused. Like I was just
sure, it's all over the place. Yeah. I mean, they go to circus. The other thing is, obviously we spend a lot of time in Vegas, a lot more than probably the average person. Yeah. We're there all the time. Obviously, we work with Chuck Liddell, UFC fighters, all that stuff. So we're at events constantly, and like that. I remember that Vegas from when I first started going so much more than now, right?
Yeah, I think that's why I don't relate to it because I didn't start going to Vegas or go to Vegas for the very first time until I was a lot older.
I got it.
So I don't have that.
I went early, right?
Because kind of attachment to it.
When I started producing television was when I first started going there, and so I saw like kind of that underbelly side with the production of television shows at like 19 years old.
Okay.
So I remember the original Circus Circus. I remember Circus Circus when you could go there and you could get a room for like $25 on a weekday. Like now I obviously am nowhere near as old as Hunter S. Thompson was or anything like that. But I remember like when Vegas was a little bit more debauchery than tourist attraction like it is now.
Gotcha.
And so what Fear and Loathing was to me was it was like the bygone era of being out in the desert in the only town around and the stuff that people actually went there for.
Okay.
And not just what they went there for, but what their experience, because I don't do any, like, I don't do drugs. I don't even drink.
Yeah.
So my experience with Vegas is more people watching and work. So watching Fear and Loathing, you go, wow, this is how people live? Like, this is what they do?
Yeah.
So taking that book and having someone who literally, I mean, he basically says, I'm doing this for research, right? Like, I'm going to go be crazy in Vegas. This is research, and then writes that book on it. It was a really cool thing to see. This is a kid's film, though.
That
like,
kind of, yeah.
So we take, you take a character played by the same guy who played Hunter S. Thompson, and you start throwing those Easter eggs in that kids will never understand. They're never gonna have watched Fear and Loathing. They're never gonna have read that book. But you see Hunter and Gonzo, his lawyer, driving through the desert on their way presumably to Vegas, already high out of their mind, in a Cadillac with the top down, driving through backcountry. And how perfect is it in that instance that a frickin' chameleon hits your windshield with a smiley face on and it cracks open? It's like, whoa, like that is iconic to the film. And the fact that someone took the time, effort, and energy to put it in a kid's film, because that's my biggest issue with kids' films now, especially if it's not a Disney or a Pixar. Disney or Pixar films, I know what the effort, because I have some friends that work for Pixar, the effort that they go through to culturally ingrain themselves into the content that they're making is unlike any other animation studio. You think of the movie Moana, they went and lived there. The animators, the storytellers, the writers, they went and lived in Polynesia for months to actually depict
I never knew that.
everything, all the way down to how were these boats built. Like, how were the boats built, the tattoos, how were the tattoos done, by hand, stick and poke. Like, they actually went there and lived there and ingrained themselves in the culture to do the best service to whatever that they're making. That doesn't happen in kids' movies, man.
No, it doesn't.
Like, you watch a movie like Barnyard and Kevin James is playing a cow and just making rude jokes the whole time, and it's awesome and hilarious, but there's no culture to that.
Yeah,
like,
you're right. You do watch a lot of, because you're naming stuff I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, I watch a lot of
Yeah,
animated.
I'm like,
FYI, Barnyard's a fantastic animated film. You should probably watch it someday. There's a couple characters in there you remind me of.
Oh, that doesn't make me want to watch it.
Well, I piqued your interest just enough that you're like,
my
wonder what
goes
Jake
so
was.
far.
Pretty sure there's one that can't swim. So back to Rango. Rango it's obviously won Best Animated Feature. Came in, took the throne from Disney for 1 year, got it. Nickelodeon Studios doesn't make that many films to begin with.
Yeah, they don't.
So this one kind of came out of nowhere. And obviously,
funny because I remember seeing it, not actually watching it, but like all of the promotional material and stuff for it. Nothing ever made me go, I wonder if I should watch that or not. Like, I only watched it because you incentivized me to. You're like, you should check this out for the gun stuff.
yes.
But other than that, I remember saying, I was like, there's nothing about this that makes me want to watch it.
But then you got into it and you saw the gun stuff.
I did. I still didn't like the beginning. Like, the beginning for me was a little bit,
It's slow.
It is. And then once we got hit with the Hunter S. Thompson reference, then that piqued my curiosity. But like once it starts kind of hitting its stride towards the middle, then it definitely starts. It's like, okay, all right, now I can get into this. But that's also, ironically enough, when all the gunplay starts really happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Gunplay. How freaking accurate was this film? Like, in terms of, now remember, this is Western, right? So we're not dealing with ARs. We're not dealing with modern firearms, but we are dealing with real firearms.
Yeah.
Like there is Colt Army standard single action firearms all over this film, actual real world firearms that they took and modeled for this film.
They did a damn good job with that. That much I can say. Even the handling of the firearms, the way they handled them, everything. The accuracy was dead on.
Drop the exact amount of rounds. Drop them the exact right. He loads them the right way. They holster the right way. Now there is one glaring mistake for any gun guy. Now, I will say, a lot of gun guys will not catch this because, again, most gun guys are not running around being, handling single action Western firearms on a daily basis. Now, to my cowboy action shooters out there, they probably caught this right away. There is one mistake. Everything else was perfect about the handling of the firearms. There is one glaring mistake that they happened during the film, and that is every single Western firearm used in this movie is a single action. Every single gun in this firearm functions as a double action. That's the only mistake that they made in the entire film.
Oh, you're right.
So with the era that this is set in and the era of the firearms that they used, you should have had to cock the hammer on every single time.
Right.
And in this film,
they
run them in double actions.
I did not catch that.
You know what? We'll let it slide because they did so good like that on the rest of it that, oh well, like they messed up one tiny thing.
I wonder if that was a conscious decision or if that was something that they genuinely overlooked. Because I feel like, considering it was an animated series or animated movie, they could have easily had them running in single actions.
Yep.
Something tells me it was deliberate.
It might have been. It might have been one of those things where it probably makes it easier on animation, right?
Yeah,
like
I can imagine that.
If you had to animate that character literally cocking the hammer every single time. The budget for these films, and so the great story here. Perfect lead into this, by the way.
I do what I do.
Johnny Depp is obviously the main character, he's a gun guy.
Did not know that.
He really likes guns. So we'll talk about that later. So this film was made. Obviously, Johnny was the main character. The director is actually the director of 3 of the Pirates of the Caribbean films. And so he came into this. The director was like, you know what? Huge budget, Pirates of the Caribbean films, like lots of actors, tons of special effects, all practical. He's like, you know what? I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to do something a little easier on myself for this next film to slow it down. He picked a freaking animated film. He had no idea what went into it. And I mean, it literally was just as hard, he said, as doing any of the Pirates of the Caribbean
I can imagine.
So, but that's the thing. Like, a lot of animated films, they especially now, like you think back to like them making Scooby-Doo, right? Like, okay, all drawn by hand, like literally animation cells. Crazy. You had tons and tons of people just making cell after cell after cell. Like, yeah, that I get it. Like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Now we have computers, and people, I think, take for granted the modeling, the clay models, the scanning, all of the things that go into actually doing this, and then just the research.
Yeah.
Because it's not like you can you're not just walking into a prop house and picking stuff off the wall that's going to make it into your film. You're picking the stuff off the wall, and then you are having to model it into the computer and animate it. So
that level of that's way too intensive for me.
It is. I mean, it's absolutely wild the amount of stuff that goes into it. But all of the firearms handling, the firearms fighting, the being out in they're putting on this fake play for the moles, and then all the moles draw on them, and they literally every single mole or whatever creature is out there, they've all got double barrel shotguns, they've got peacemakers, they've got Schofields, they have real firearms, and that was one of the coolest things to see in this. And not that I know this for a fact, but my guess is that Johnny had a massive amount to play in the accuracy of this, right? You not only are you doing that, but you're also coming in and depicting the spirit of the West. Yeah. Who's the spirit of the West?
Was it Hunter?
Clint Eastwood.
Oh,
you're drawing now. A funny thing here is
one thing I will say is this: I wonder how much Hunter S. Thompson played, because they were tight.
Mm-hmm. Very. Johnny lived in Hunter S. Thompson's basement for almost a year.
Which is where I think the gun stuff came from, because Hunter S. Thompson was a huge gun fanatic.
So
I think it makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Truth be told.
I mean, you want to become who you idolize.
Yeah.
And obviously Johnny was, Hunter was a huge, not only did he play him in Fear and Loathing, he also played him in, what was the other Hunter S. Thompson film that came out just like probably 8 years ago? He played a younger Hunter S. Thompson in that. It was Rum.
I don't remember.
What was it? The Rum Diaries? I think it was the Rum Diaries or something like that. Now that film was way slower paced for a Hunter S. Thompson film. That one was a lot harder, but what was I saying before that? So you obviously you're using Spirit of the West. And again, this film is ripe for Easter eggs.
Yes.
Crazy awesome for Easter eggs because there's so much you can do with it. So interesting. You bring in a depiction of Hunter S. Thompson, Clint Eastwood to be the Spirit of the West, but he's played by Timothy Olyphant.
I remember Timothy Olyphant from God damn it, 47.
Yep, he's in 47.
That's how I always remember him. Well, I don't know why, but that's how, because I guess because I love that game.
So Timothy Olyphant plays in, what's the name of the Western that he's in? What was the name of it?
I don't know.
Justified. Thank you. Timothy Olyphant's in Justified. So you think, okay, they're going to go pull Clint Eastwood to be the Spirit of the West. They're going to pull a Western actor to play the voice of Clint Eastwood. So you're tying that together. Clint Eastwood has 5 Golden Guardians in the Spirit of the West scene where he's literally driving around on a golf cart with his 5 Golden Guardians, which are his, Oscars?
Yeah.
So all 5 of his Oscars, which he actually won, were there. Clint was famous for riding around, Western sets on his golf cart. Like all of these things, not a single child would ever pick up on any of this.
So essentially, it's a movie designed for parents to be able to watch with their kids that they both can enjoy.
And that has been more and more prevalent as animation. Like people understand you got to get the parent to come in, right?
I mean, they don't have a choice because the only way the kid can get into the movie theater, generally speaking, at that age is with their parents.
Yep, with your parents and obviously with their parents' money.
Yeah,
so
true.
You started seeing that and understanding that. Now, obviously, these things come out on DVDs and Blu-rays and all that stuff, but they made this film seemed way more purposeful than any other animated film that I've ever gone to. I appreciate Disney and Pixar. I appreciate Universal. I appreciate the Shreks of the world that have all of the adult humor in them and things like that. But this film had the gunplay. It had the actual Western references. It had references to adult humor and adult characters, and it just seemed like it went that extra mile that most didn't. And
I think you can appreciate that aspect of it, and I think you appreciate that aspect of it because you're held hostage by your kids having to watch stuff you probably wouldn't watch otherwise.
I wouldn't say I'm held hostage, but
That's what it sounds like to
I
me.
definitely watch things. I definitely watch a lot of things I wouldn't like. Right now, my daughter's on a Spirit kick, the horse movie.
Spirit Away?
Yeah. Well, no, not Spirited Away. That's your culture, not mine. I've actually never seen that, but no, Spirit, the horse movie. He's a horse.
I don't know why you're looking at me thinking I wouldn't have any idea what you're talking about.
It's a horse movie. I don't know.
Okay.
I know you're in,
like Seabiscuit?
I know you're in. No, it's more of like Indian horses.
Oh.
So like Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron.
Okay.
I know you've seen Thelma the Unicorn, though, right? You've definitely seen Thelma the Unicorn. He's definitely seen. He knows. He's never going to admit it, but he's seen it.
I've not seen that.
Yeah, you have.
And I just remember the animated series I was trying to remember.
What was
that
it?
I really, really liked, and it's actually an anime series, the Blue-Eyed Samurai.
So you really are an anime guy.
I guess you could call me an anime guy.
Okay. Okay.
Shut up, Peter.
Peter's over there like you're stealing his heritage or something.
Cultural appropriation.
You're not even Japanese.
Do you like Afro Samurai?
It was okay.
I actually like that one.
Afro Samurai was okay.
What about The Boondocks.
I love the Boondocks.
Yeah, everyone loves the
I
Boondocks.
love the Boondocks. Shout out Peter. Boondocks was it's epic. I used to go to sleep watching the Boondocks every night. For
I
a
bet.
period of time. That I would swap back and forth between that and South Park.
See, I could not do South Park, because Cartman's voice is so freaking annoying.
And the weird thing is, it does not annoy me.
It annoys the ever-loving. All right, completely getting off topic. Best South Park episode for you. Favorite South Park episode?
Make love, not war cry.
Mine is freaking the one where they go to the Mexican restaurant.
I think I know something. Yeah.
So I literally
The Mexican restaurant or the Asian?
no the Mexican.
Oh, the Mexican.
With the
because,
divers.
Wait. Oh shit. Okay, I'm confused. It's not the one when Cartman was trying to bully the Mexican kid.
No,
Damn it. Okay, I don't know which one you're talking about then.
they go to what's the name of that Mexican restaurant? So funny story about that, which has nothing to do with guns or pew culture in any way.
I'm surprised South Park's never made a gun episode. I mean, they kind of did with what's his face. What's his name?
So it's the episode Casa Bonita.
Oh, Casa Bonita. All right, I do remember that.
So-
Where he's trying to get Kyle to when he's trying to go to Kyle's birthday party.
Yep.
Okay.
So-
And then he hides butter. And,
Oh yeah, and he's all about like the Mexican cliff divers, all this stuff. So I love this. I love that episode because I used to live in Telluride,
okay.
and so we would drive up to Denver, and I didn't realize that Casa Bonita was a real place,
I didn't either.
and it is. And so I was like, oh my gosh. So I took my family there when we got a little older. We went to Casa Bonita, and they have the cliff divers, and they've got arcades, and they've got all that stuff. And I got the worst food poisoning in my entire life from the chicken special. Cartman lied to me, told me I needed to get that chicken special. I tried it. Worst food poisoning I've ever gotten in my life. Funny thing is, a couple years later, they shut down because of the health code violations. So here's how cool, though, the creators of South Park are.
Oh, my God.
They come in and they buy Casa Bonita. The creators of South Park were like, we can't let this iconic episode just die like that. So they come in and they buy Casa Bonita, they redo it, and they reopen it. And now when you go there, they have Cartman in his birthday hat sitting at the head of the table in the restaurant. Like, how badass is that?
That is freaking awesome.
That is freaking
That's
cool.
awesome. That is awesome. Yeah, that episode was actually pretty damn funny.
It was so
That
funny.
episode.
It was way more like, I remember I liked the South Parks from before everything was just a complete reaction to whatever's happening today.
Yeah.
It was more about like what the characters were
yeah.
just doing by themselves. I thought that was funnier then. Don't get me wrong.
I see what you're getting at.
The influencer episode of South Park hits home so hard that I don't know how to feel about it.
I felt personally
because
attacked.
if you know what I do for a living,
I was personally attacked in that episode, so I don't watch it.
yeah, it's, I mean, for real. And what the first like 8 episodes of this, we were sitting out here drinking Prime. Not that we're not drinking First Form now. Thank you, First Form.
Oh, God. Oh, I was like, this hits a little too close to home.
Dude, but that's what South Park does well.
Yeah,
like that's
they do
what they
incredibly
do
well.
better than
And they're
anyone
so
else.
fast.
So fast. But that's because
Jesus.
going back into our animation, it's not like Rango, right?
Yeah, that's true.
You're not creating
yeah.
you're not creating a 2.5 hour masterpiece trying to win Best Picture. You're literally cutting. You know how South Park started, right?
Yeah,
They're
construction
cutting
paper.
out construction paper. It's crazy.
But it
So
works.
it does. Long story short, though, if you're looking for something to watch with your kids, because I think there's a ton of people out there who have never seen Rango, like whether they
I was
have
one of those
kids or
people.
don't have kids.
Yeah.
Like it flew so under the radar.
It really
that
did, though.
It did, but I mean, look at that. 1 bullet left. Actually has 6-cylinder. Now I will say, all right, hey, go back. There's a mistake right there as well. And again, being the prop expert on a show, you're going to catch these things. So on top of, right there, stop it. So that's a Peacemaker. Mm-hmm. That is the cylinder didn't come out the side on Peacemakers. It was a flip down lock off the side. It would flip down, So this is a Schofield, so it doesn't do the same thing. But you would have a flip down right here. The cylinder wouldn't come out the side.
Yes, and you would
load,
your
and then
spinning
you
motor.
would
Okay,
then you
gotcha.
would unload one at a
One
time
time.
out the side.
Okay.
So 2 firearms mistakes, but that could have been easily rectified as well by using a slightly more because I mean realistically there is no time period to this, right?
Yeah.
They
for that shot, they needed to show that though.
Yes, absolutely. They just mix together, 2 different styles of guns into one gun. But look at the modeling off of
Yeah.
it. Like they didn't miss anything when they were creating it. Like
true,
the
yeah,
pitting,
yeah.
like even the little ridges on it. The bullet, the projectile is actually there the right way, and they used lead.
Yeah, so
They didn't do like a copper jacket because that wouldn't have been a thing with a Western style firearm. So they actually went into depth and they worked their butts off to create real, actual firearms that exist for the most part in real life with a couple little mistakes.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, if anything I can't take away from it is they did a damn good job on the firearm aspect of it.
Firearm aspect was good. The adult humor is good.
Yeah.
The
The acting was good.
the acting was
Very good.
you know what you're going to get with Johnny.
Yeah.
And this another really funny thing about Johnny Depp is Johnny Depp will not watch his own films. It's kind of like me with this show. I'm not going to go back and watch our episodes. Like I don't want to see how I sound, talk. Whatever.
I have to because I have to
don't
pull
care.
the clips out of the damn thing.
Yes,
so
you do.
I'm forced to.
But so Johnny Depp will not watch his own films. Like he doesn't like it. He doesn't watch the Pirates of the Caribbean, doesn't watch any of that stuff. He said that this film and The Corpse Bride are the only 2 films that he actually enjoys going back and watching of his
say
own
why?
films. Why? Just he believes that these 2 films are actually fun. They are I think
Pirates of the Caribbean wasn't?
Pirates of the Caribbean was fun, but think about watching. So there's a big difference, right? Like this is animated.
Yeah,
It's
so
animated.
you can disassociate yourself a little bit from it.
You can kind of separate yourself from it a little bit. When you watch Captain Jack Sparrow walk around, move, all that
It's
stuff,
fucking Johnny Depp.
it's Johnny. You're literally sitting there staring at yourself for hours, and I could see
it can be a little weird.
It can.
happens to me every once in a while when I rewatch some of my videos, and I'm just like, this feels odd, and then I'll just stop. Shut up, Peter.
That's how I feel watching video of you trying to swim. It's just odd and weird. Doesn't feel right.
So that was another episode of the Pew Culture. Pew pew pew. We're just gonna
You want to know what this is actually from? The Outlaw Jesse James.
I'm gonna be honest with you. My know-how about guns of this era is literally zero.
We should probably train you up on it just so you know.
I don't know if I have enough interest.
You will. It's actually a lot more fun than you think.
I'll take you up on it, but for some reason I've never just really gotten into it.
Well, when you do the Guns of Rango and you have to dress up like Rango and pretend you're in the West, you're going to have to learn anyways. I can't wait to see you dress up as Rango.
I mean, it's not that hard.
We're going to get you the googly eyes.
I'm not wearing a dress.
Oh, yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
For sure wearing a
Definitely not
dress.
wearing a dress.
But his version will be John Rango.
Would you say Django?
Ooh, you went there. See, we could do the Guns of Django too.
should.
That was a great film, man. But yeah, no, this firearm was actually used in the film The Outlaw Jesse James, Brad Pitt.
Ah.
It was just the only Western gun I had sitting on my desk today, so I just grabbed it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So cool.
That was another
Rango.
episode of Pew Culture.